cheap ass. You know, I'm like, damn.
You heard it here first. Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
On our podcast.
Right, we're the best. You know, they say people that cuss are more honest. So I'm an honest motherfucker. Put the fish away, Reggie.
It don't even hurt to give birth anymore.
Not for me.
Nothing to it.
Okay.
Let's do it. Come on. I'm ready. I'm ready. I want to do it.
I wear I got one on right now. You want to see?
Jimmy and Geek. Madhouse Bar Talks, baby.
That is a bunch of shit, if you ask me. That ain't make no sense.
Morning. That was weak. That was weak as shit. What was that about? At least we got a morning out of you. You got the volume on over there?
Oh, probably, yeah.
The volume's on?
See how delayed we are? Now everybody knows how delayed we are. All right.
There's the delay. There it goes. So, this week, it was pretty wild. We all of a sudden, my phone starts blowing up that they're talking about Tomlinson on Rogan.
Yeah.
You know, this guy, Justin.
You think Rogan's copying off of us?
I mean, it seems that way a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we had it on here first,
Yeah,
right?
at least a week, huh?
So clearly, Joe Rogan's listening to our podcast.
Yeah, we
you know
said
what I'm
that
saying?
before. Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing is what I think that if I'm looking at it right, I think because that Justin he's an advocate for people that are innocent. And it's wild because one of the things they talk about at the beginning of the episode on Rogan is like one of the guests that they got out and was on Joe Rogan Experience, then turned around and killed somebody. They caught him like he had his head cut off and shit, like crazy shit. So then he gives them he goes into this like about a half hour. He starts talking about a case here in Lorain County that basically he feels that JD can get him off on, or get it expunged, or look into it, or whatever the case may be. But he said, you know, it looks like because he lost the election. I mean, I don't think the incoming guy would be willing to do that. So I think that he went on there with the explicit, thought that if I say it, I'm going to get Tomlinson's attention and he's going to have to return my call because Tomlinson wasn't returning his call. That was what he said on there. He wasn't. So I think that's what he was doing, was basically trying to grab his attention. I think it seems that way. You know what I mean? And it certainly worked because everybody's like going, whoa, JD's on. I mean, my phone blew up. JD actually reached out to me. I'm like, call the dude. What are you doing? And it's wild because we had just had JD on here last week, right before the election, the Monday before the election. So we had him on here, and he claimed he was, we were talking about all the different projects that he's already got people off on, and Nancy Smith being one of them, which that's his big one. That's the one that really, he's thrived to get off, more than anything. That was the. Now you said Nancy Smith is your uncle's sister-in-law?
Yeah.
Really? That's pretty wild. So you see her at parties and stuff?
No.
No?
I never met her.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's a crazy story. When he was telling us the story about it, and it seems like the right thing happened. They're off. You know what I mean? They're out now, but
you can't get that time.
That's a lot of time, and it's prime time in your life and everything. Well, there's a similar case going on now that he was talking about on a Rogan Experience where basically they put out a reward, essentially, and the dad come in and tried to get the reward by telling him stuff they said was already in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Then he shows up the next day with his son. His son tries to tell him stuff that was already in the newspaper. They send him packing. Then he shows up a third day and says the dude told him he did it. And then they arrest these dudes, and all these guys went to jail. This guy came in 3 times with, you know what I mean? It just doesn't add up. trying to get a couple grand. Like, could you imagine? Like, you want a couple grand, like you put 4 people in prison over it? Like, for the rest of their life? Like, yeah, fuck it, I need my 2 grand.
And then they'll find out it's not true.
Well, I mean, you know it when you're doing it for the 2 grand, don't you? Or maybe he suspected that's who it was, but he was just saying that's who. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I guess I could understand if you suspected it and you were just giving the information, but you didn't have any proof, but you wanted the 2 grand, but you thought it was true. So I guess that would add up.
So what's the deal with JD?
That yesterday, he got off. They
was it yesterday?
Or Friday, yeah, Friday. They dismissed the case. They completely dismissed the case.
That is so fucked up.
The whole thing was in court, and there was nobody there that was on the witness's behalf. The witness wasn't there. There was no proof that the witness even got. That's the only thing they did in the court hearing. I watched the whole court hearing. The only thing they were trying to do was basically prove that the witness was here in Ohio at the time of the warrant. I don't know, or the bench warrant. Yeah, what is that called? Summons, right? So I don't know what you call
Subpoena.
that. Subpoena. There you go. There's the word. So I guess they couldn't get the subpoena. They couldn't prove that she got the subpoena. There was no proof that she got it. And they were trying to, the prosecutor, the special prosecutor was just trying to basically argue that she was in Ohio. And they were using flock cameras to prove that she was, like, they had, like, showed, like, she was in this state and that state at that time of the subpoena. But that it's been since November, she's been in Arizona or something like that. But she's not even the one that accused him, as far as I understand. And I mean, I've heard it through the grapevine. But I mean, as far as I understand, this girl never even wanted that to happen. She didn't want no charges brought on, nothing. None of this shit was said by her. Just people went
on her behalf. That she didn't want.
Yes, yeah. On her behalf. Yeah, and they're out there on her behalf trying to attack him. To do exactly what they wanted to do. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm going to call it how I see it. You don't bring up charges on somebody who's up for election and then they're dismissed like the day after the election. That just doesn't add up. Or the week after the election. That doesn't add up. Just like, and not only that, they had like all over the papers and stuff, it was saying he was indicted. When he was in here, he said, I was not indicted.
Wow.
He goes, I was never indicted. These charges have been filed on me, but I have not been indicted.
Man, I'd be suing everybody.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I mean, that to me is like election interference, and it honestly, it makes you have to question if this new prosecutor that's coming in is. I mean, you just got to question who he is as a person. For one, you got the guy on Rogan going, this guy's not going to help me get it out. I mean, why wouldn't any prosecutor see a case that looks like they're innocent and want to get them off? But it's like clear as a day. He goes, yeah, from what I understand, this new prosecutor isn't going to be interested in doing anything for me on that.
Yeah, but he's kind of speaking for him without speaking to him, you know what I mean?
I get that. I understand that. But that's what his belief is. Somebody's giving him that belief for some reason.
Well, that doesn't matter.
JD's the only one that JD, when he was in here, basically said all of this, like them going after him and everything. He said it right on the podcast. He said that he felt that it was over the Nancy Smith thing. He thought that was the whole reason that it was over to Nancy Smith. And actually, yeah, that is what happened. On Rogan, when that Justin was on there, he said that Cleveland's, I think it's his wife, they said that when she talked to JD, he said, man, I already been in enough trouble over this Nancy Smith thing. I can't jump into something right now. You know what I mean? Because it worried about the throwback on it or whatever, you know, the pushback on it. I mean, that's just crazy to me. I mean, if you're a prosecutor and there's a hint that somebody's in prison that might be innocent, you got to take that talk. You got to take that very serious. I mean that's why would you want that? Why would you just ignore such a thing? That's crazy.
Well, I'm sure there's reasons for it, and I think the reasons are lawsuits and all kinds of stuff. You know,
lawsuits for what?
False imprisonment.
Yeah, but a prosecutor shouldn't give a shit about that, right? It's not like it's coming out of that prosecutor's pocket. I mean, the city and state will have to pay for sure, but I don't think that's going to come out of his pocket.
Yeah, but another thing is, they got their little record to think of.
Now, to me, I feel like that's a good thing to put on your record that you got an innocent man out of prison. To me, that's a phenomenal thing.
I don't understand the reasons either. I really don't. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, how could you sleep at night if you know somebody's in prison and they aren't supposed to be there? How can you possibly sleep at night?
Yeah,
that's just crazy.
Yeah, I'd be.
Anyways, I talked to JD and he says that Justin's going to fly out and see him this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to come in and see him, and they're going to see what they can do because he's got to do it quick because he's only got till the end of the year now.
Do what?
Try and look into this case and see about getting it exonerated or whatever. But, I mean, he's got to look at the case. That, like JD said when he was in here, it's like, I don't know. I've got to see the case. I mean, I haven't looked at it. What can I say, But he did tell the woman in the summer, which I believe was down here at St. Lad's, he told her that he thought that it didn't sit well with him when he was because he sat in on the case, I guess, when he was in college, and he said it never sat well with him when he was watching. He didn't think it sat well. So, but anyways, either way, JD is definitely, the cases are dismissed. He's still not going to be the prosecutor because voting's over.
That's what I was about to say.
Bullshit, dude. It's straight bullshit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wonder what actions could be taken at this point on that.
I don't think anything. I mean, if people voted, they made their decision. I mean,
no, I get that.
I don't even know how it'll work. Because I'm not like a lawyer or nothing, but the way it was dismissed is basically because the witness wasn't coming forward. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know how that works because it's not like they said he's innocent or they said that, it's like they say there's decisions made with prejudice and without prejudice. This is like a without prejudice type decision. Basically, the charges could be brought up at any time. Nobody's saying he's innocent or guilty. They're just saying they're not moving forward because they have no witnesses. So now for him to go... I would think for him to go sue them, he'd have to prove that it's completely false and innocent. Right? Wouldn't he or no? That's what would make sense in my logic brain, but I'm not an attorney and I didn't take a bar exam or any of those sort of things. But I didn't like the way that ruling, with that ruling, that was the one thing that stuck in my head. I can't believe with that ruling that is what, you'd rather they looked at the evidence and said, yeah, this is all bullshit that's dismissed.
Right. It's like limbo.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that gives him as big of a leg to stand on when it comes to, suing for the, the election interference. And that's what it was. I don't care what anybody says. There's no question in my head that was election interference if you've ever seen it. I mean, you bring up charges where you're not even going to go to court until the week after the election. 4 days after the election, in fact. It was on Tuesday. It was Friday was his first court hearing for that.
And then they dismissed it on that day.
Well, no. They actually, on that day, from what I understand through the grapevine, is that their text messages were given to them that the prosecutors knew about that basically said that the witness did not want any of this and none of it happened, basically. So they extended it for another week, and then in a week later, that's when they dismissed it.
All right, your personal opinion. Do you think he wins if that didn't come up?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. How could he not? I mean, their whole campaign, nobody even knew who was running. There was only signs out that said, vote JD out. All they did was they put JD in the newspaper in a bad light, and they put him in a bad light and said they said he was indicted on felony charges, him and Birch. That wasn't true. Not that, but the wording that the newspaper said, and they could maybe, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they did misspeak, but it doesn't much matter because being charged and being indicted doesn't mean much to the public anyways.
Right.
But the word indicted sounds bad.
Right.
they say indicted, put that all over the newspaper. That's all anybody sees, and then you just see vote JD out everywhere. You don't even see signs really for this guy. Nothing. All you do is see these signs that say vote JD out, because JD's the common denominator that everybody knows. So they put him in a bad light, vote him out, and it's dismissed a week later. Dude, dirty. That's as dirty as it gets.
Well,
that's as dirty as recording somebody for 1,000 hours. That's all I'm saying.
1,000 hours. Jeez. So,
And you know, that's the shame of it is, like, you look at these people that are paranoid about stuff. You know what I mean?
that's why.
That's why. That is why. Because sometimes there's a reason you should be paranoid. There really is.
But anyways, what about that Tyson shit?
What?
Mike Tyson.
His ass cheeks?
That was amazing.
Huh?
Listen, people are complaining about that fight. I'm like, you didn't pay for it. You got to see Mike's ass. What the hell?
Why the fuck do people walk out there with his jock strap out his ass cheeks out?
Love you, Dad. Yeah, love you too, son.
That shit was crazy.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It was the most exciting thing in the
it
fight,
was
though.
entertaining.
And what
The
about Jake
pre-fight-
Paul with that bullshit spray?
Them dudes-
Constantly, dude. I don't even know what the product is. I'm not even going to say it on here. I do know what it is, but I'm not going to say it on here. Not that I'm ever going to buy organic spray and spray it all over myself of any sort.
Try it.
Nope, not after that. That was ignorant. That was just annoying. I'm like, look, what the fuck is he doing? I mean, the whole thing was to make you go Google what the hell he's spraying on him, so that he can go say he smells good or whatever, organic
Say
shit.
what you want about him, but that dude's a marketing genius.
Good for him. He ain't gonna get my money. That's all I said.
Yeah, maybe your son will.
No, my son ain't getting it either. Although he loves them primes that his brother has.
What are they? Prime what?
Prime. It's like a drink.
Oh,
It's a drink that I think it's his brother that has them. I'm pretty sure, Logan Paul.
yeah, Mike's ass. That was great.
I'll tell you what. You know when I knew Tyson was going to lose the fight? When I absolutely
when
knew.
he walked out and tripped.
No, when they showed his ass cheeks, I'm like, man, that's an old man's ass. He's fucked up. That's an old man's ass. That wasn't no young man's ass.
You know why you say that? Because you can't see yours when you're walking.
No, I know. I can't. I look back in the mirror like this. I'm like, yeah. And then I see Tyson. I'm like, oh, he's fucked.
Yeah, we fucked. Nah,
That's an old man ass there.
That shit had me dying though. I was like, what the fuck? Holy
This
shit.
shit was everywhere.
Oh my God. Man, that dude had look at Jake Paul got Mike Tyson off that podcast chair, smoking weed to go into training.
True.
And gave the man $20 million at least.
He said that at the end. If you watch, there's a thing at the very end. Like most people didn't stay up late to watch it because you were already annoyed with it. But he said, I'll probably never fight again. He goes, I'm disrespecting the sport. I'm just fighting to pay my bills. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That was Tyson's exact words. But I mean, God bless him. Good for him to get his $20 million and relax. He already blew the rest on coke and whores, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Now he needs $20 million to
like,
sit on for a minute. You know what I mean.
Okay,
Hopefully,
I'm
don't go buy no more Rolls Royces and shit.
Yeah, get sued, punching
Yeah.
somebody in the eye.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's gonna punch nobody in the eye anymore.
Shit.
He says he ain't vicious no more.
You see him slap the shit out of Jake?
Yeah, that was a joke. That was all fucking
I don't think so.
promo. Oh, for sure it was. No question that was promo garbage.
I don't think so.
No question. That was just all trying to. That was what is the word? Theatrical. That's all that was. Theatrics.
I don't think so.
But I'll give them credit. They gave us a shitty fight, the two of them.
But them girls were banging.
But the two fights before them, both fights before them were worth watching for sure. No question. Those were definitely
And they were
worth
free.
watching.
You got to remember that was free.
Yeah, those were definitely worth watching because the only thing is I think like the first fight or the second fight actually was what was that? That was Barrios and who was it? And Ramos. And that fight was a hell of a fight. That was a really good fight. Mm-hmm. And then they come up and they give him the tie. You know what I mean? Ramos was hitting it at the end though. I mean, it looked good at the end, but Ramos he didn't even start till the 6th round or something. It didn't seem like, But that was a good ass fight, regardless.
That was a good fight.
And then them girls come in and they do it, and I don't think anybody would have been mad if they would have tied the fight. If they would have gave them a draw, I don't think anybody would have been mad. You would have probably felt that Serrano should have won, maybe, but you would have maybe agreed more with the. But when they gave it to that Katie or Taylor or whatever her name was, when they gave it to her. I mean, even the crowd, the announcers, all of us at home, none of us agreed with it.
Well, I disagree with you if they'd have made a draw. That girl should have won that fight because she got that point taken from the headbutts.
I agree. All I'm saying, but the thing is in the beginning of that fight, though, in the beginning it was similar to the second fight where Barrios and Ramos, where Ramos really didn't engage enough. And that's true. That was true in the Taylor and Serrano fight too. It was like in the beginning of it, Serrano really wasn't engaging like she should have, and then she started to towards the end. So she loses those rounds in the front. I mean, that's just what happens. If you're not gonna get engaged, you lose those rounds. You know what I mean? Coming back and like giving it. I mean, you just still lose those rounds regardless. But I'm not saying that it should have been a draw. I'm not saying it should have been a draw. I'm saying that if it would have been a draw, people wouldn't have been so pissed off this morning. You know what I mean? They would have been irritated, maybe a little bit. I think people were genuinely like, "That's some bullshit right there."
Yeah, it was. I was like, she should have won it. She should have won it.
Yeah, I don't.
Then
disagree.
you're minusing the point for the headbutts. Then you really say, "Oh well, then she got it now because the other girl just lost that round."
And if we're being honest, she should have lost 3 points for headbutts.
Jesus. That was the worst.
At least 3 of them were real bad. At least 3 of them. Yeah, but the fight was good. I mean, it was a hell of a fight. Regardless, either way, we won because
right.
we enjoyed the hell out of those 2 fights.
I was listening to people yesterday talking about how they was pissed off about it. I'm like, for what? Everything was free.
Yeah, everything was free. You got to see a couple good fights, really, really good fights. That first fight was stupid too. Him humping him in the corner and shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? This is stupid.
Yeah, he's trying to act like Adrian Broner. That's all.
It's still dumb.
Yeah, but anyways, now you got a free fight. You got to see Mike Tyson for the last time.
Yeah, I could have lived without seeing that.
Yeah, well, whatever. But anyways,
dude, he was walking out there. He looked like AJ walking, didn't he?
He tripped when he first started coming out, and then he looked like he was struggling walking all the way through. And then
I was thinking Jake Paul should have gave him a ride up there.
Yeah, he drove up there. Damn. So then when they're fighting and shit, he just touches him, and Mike looks like he's gonna fall. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, his legs weren't good.
Gone.
Yeah, them legs were gone. Yeah, his when he did swing, them punches were moving. He still had the speed, but them legs, man, they just ain't holding.
If he didn't had his legs, it'd have been on, but he didn't. That's all.
And a little bit of ass muscles or something. There wasn't no muscle in that ass. I'm just saying.
I wasn't.
You got to have some ass behind you when you're swinging.
I got the glimpse, and I was like, "Whoa." You was paying a little too much attention to that.
Well, it wasn't my fault. The fucking thing froze right while his ass is there. So I got Tyson's ass and the thing going.
Yeah. So it hypnotized you?
25, 99.
You was staring at that head like that.
That was some bullshit, dude. That freezing shit, too.
I didn't have that, but I did. Once it started doing that shit, I backed it up about 2 minutes, and it ran right through everything. I just kept it there.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. No, I didn't. It did it to me about 5 times.
Everybody was bitching about that.
Oh, it was everywhere. Everybody was pissed off about it. I like the one Amanda posted. Did you see that one? Mm-mm. It was funny. It said, "Why am I necessity freezing?" Like Tyson. It was Tyson's face. It was funny as shit. But yeah, that freezing shit too, that was everywhere. Everybody was
Everybody
pissed
had
off about
noise.
that shit. You know what I mean? So it's not even my fault that I seen his ass so long.
It didn't freeze up right there.
The hell it didn't. True story. I should have took a picture.
I seen enough.
It froze right on that ass. All that cottage cheese, no muscle in there. I'm like, mad. Looking at Tyson's ass and pissed off that my Netflix is froze.
Holy shit, I couldn't believe that really happened, though.
What?
Love you, Dad. Love you too, son. It's like, what the fuck?
And he's just ass out.
Ass out.
Ass out. Good fight, though. Good. I mean, the two good fights before that. You know what I mean? I enjoyed those fights for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have never thought I'd like a woman fight like that, like I did. But see, then that brings up the question, though. How fair is it now if those girls, they might have to fight a man
Nope, not no more.
with a micro penis?
Nope.
No, but this is the thing. So Trump is saying no more. That's not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he's going to put somebody that's crazy in charge because he ain't fucking around. He's just like, his list is, he ain't fucking around. He's just like, he's almost disrespectful with the people he's picking. It's like, it's literally disrespectful. I mean, to anybody on the left, like, if you thought he's going to join them to get, like, join people together, he's showing you, like, no, we're going to do it this way. This is how we're doing it. But either way, but what does that matter to, like, the World Olympics and stuff? We don't have control over that, do we?
Sure.
How?
We got a lot of influence on that.
We do?
Yeah.
I mean, we have influence on it, but I don't know if we...
We'll be like, we're not participating in it if it's like that. That's the biggest thing right there. They'll be like, oh, okay. You get what I'm saying?
What do they care? Then they get to win without us.
Then it doesn't really mean nothing.
It doesn't really mean nothing when a man wins, but they do it.
Exactly. So that's why it's going to stop. If the U.S. pulls out and says, we ain't going to do that sport, then
We're not going to do that.
I guarantee they will.
They won't do it.
If the U.S., if that's the way he's doing it, yeah, I bet they won't.
No, I don't think that's true.
Well, we'll see.
I don't think it's fair, though. I definitely don't think it's fair. I don't think that you see those women fighting. Those women are throwing. They know that them are women fighting, and they're tough.
They're women fighting women.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. And I'd argue that women shouldn't even be in a boxing ring because it's it's so vicious. It was so vicious. Did you see it? So vicious.
Oh my God.
Beating up them pretty faces. That ain't right. It ain't right. Amanda brought up a good point. What if you're bleeding when you go in there to fight?
That girls usually don't bleed.
Athletes, that's true. Athletes don't usually. You're right about that. Isn't that the thing with Billie Jean King? She couldn't, like, she had trouble with her periods or something.
I don't know.
The tennis player.
I don't know, but usually women don't. When they're in training and shit like that, they don't.
They don't at all, huh? Well, from your experience?
From my knowledge of the many years of being involved in nothing. But yeah, no, them girls. I
think you're right. I think I have heard that. I think that is a thing. I think
when they're in training, it kind of fades away and they don't have it.
Yeah. Well, at that time, I think. Yeah, I think that was what they said about Billie Jean King. I remember hearing that, like that, because she was such an athlete or whatever, and it just didn't. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. I
got a million of them.
That is a good one. That's a good point. Finally one of them.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, it's good. I mean, Trump won some money. They sold a bunch of tickets. Jake Paul got a bunch of money. Everybody walked out of there. How much money did them girls get?
Probably nothing.
I mean, they were really the
star of the show.
Yeah, they were the star of the show. I think I'm going to call you out, Jake Paul. I think you should give them both a bonus. That's what I'm saying. That's a fair thing. At least a little bonus, something to say I appreciate you.
Them girls being on that stage like that, they got their bonus. Believe that.
I don't know. If you go home, you got to pay your fucking rent, dude. Still.
You think?
Like, ooh, I got the high stage, but I got to pay my rent.
I ain't got nothing what I'm saying. I was like, they're getting endorsements and shit just from being on that stage.
Yeah, possibly.
People was calling them the next day. I guarantee it. You want to wear a Nike shirt? You want to wear an Adidas shirt?
Yeah, you're right. But you got to have the right people in place to
accept
profit
that,
from
right,
that and
right.
do it the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
Contracts and shit. But yeah, them girls.
I don't care. Jake Paul still should give him a little extra money.
Yeah, for sure.
They were the star of the show.
But I think letting them be the star of the show is enough.
Now, see, is it true you think what they said about the getting knocked out shit?
Yeah.
That if Jake Paul knocked him out in the first round, he got almost no money, and it went up every round he went
you mean
on.
Tyson. Mm-hmm. No, if Tyson knocked him out.
No. From what they're saying,
I heard they both were suspended for boxing.
I heard that Jake Paul's agreement was like, or the agreement with Tyson was that if Jake Paul knocked him out in the first round, he only got X amount of money. Second round, X amount of money. Third round, X amount of money.
I think you got it backwards.
No, I'm telling you, that's what I was told. Basically, if he went in and knocked out Mike Tyson, that Tyson would have went in there for almost nothing. I'm telling you, that's what it was. That's everything I've seen. That's what it says. So they're saying that Jake Paul let it go to whole distance so he could get all his money, which would make sense of them throwing him out of boxing because that is kind of shady. You know what I mean?
I don't know. You go in there to win, period.
They did not. Neither one of them did. No, neither one of them did. I feel like maybe in the first half of the first round, they might have thought they were going to fight. And then Jake Paul was like, oh, this old man is fucking old. Like, he probably realized right away I could knock him out right now if I wanted to. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
They said he's fighting Muhammad Ali next. That's what they said. George Foreman. Do you see that one meme with the crypt keeper guy that's like walking folded over? But Tyson looked like he could still hurt you when he throws a punch. That's all I'm saying. I still don't want punched by
I think it was his
Tyson.
legs. I think his legs had him fucked up where he couldn't move. So he was trying to walk him down, and you're like, there ain't no pep in that step.
He wasn't even trying to walk him down. He wasn't even doing anything, really. Every once in a while, he'd jump up and dance around.
Yeah.
Amanda said it looks like me playing with the dog.
That was just, that. Like I said, nobody paid for it. They're crying.
No, nobody paid for it, but they definitely they gave us them good fights in the beginning. Jake Paul said Amanda won the fight, according to my wife, which is Serrano. She said Jake Paul even said it. I think everybody agrees with that, except for whoever those three judges were.
That's why I said, I know there's been cases where they've overruled the ringside. You know what I'm saying?
Is there?
Yeah. But then that's very, very, very rare.
That should be one of them, maybe.
That should be.
Like I said, I don't think anybody would have been so hurt if they would have said it was a tie, because she did have the early rounds and stuff. But
listen, if it wasn't for the headbutts, Serrano still wins. That's her name, right? Serrano?
yeah, Amanda Serrano.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the headbutt, she wins. With the headbutt and then the minus of the point, she wins. So, yeah, she got robbed.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I don't know. I just know that you judge the early rounds too. You got to judge the early rounds. That's what nobody wants to admit. Because she was coming in strong at the end, but
I don't think you judge to me, and this is my opinion, you don't judge the first rounds like you do the last.
But that's not what it is. It's a 9 and 10 system. That's what it is. And I agree with you. I've always said that I don't like the 9-10 system.
See,
I never have liked it.
Everybody feels like when you go in the first round, you're filling each other out. So the first round never counts.
But it's still 9-10.
Unless you knock them out in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, that's you know.
You're going in there, you're filling them out, then that's when you start after that. So the first
round maybe counts more than any of them.
No.
Yeah, that's when you either scare them or give them confidence.
No, you're filling each other out, how they move and shit. You're not really trying to go for it.
You come out of that first round knowing you're either about to get your ass whipped or you could maybe take this guy. That's maybe one of the most important rounds.
Nah. That's a feel out round. That's why they say that the what do they call it? The championship rounds are the last two rounds. That's why they always say that.
I agree with that, but that when you're running a 9-10 system, that's the system. Nobody changed that.
Nobody cares about that. It's.
But she didn't win anything until halfway through. I mean, it was halfway.
So you think the other girl dominated them rounds, the first two, dominated them?
I didn't say that, but she won them. It doesn't matter. It's a 9-10 system. What, she won them or didn't? She won them. She won the first 4 rounds.
I don't think so.
For sure. We watched the fight. She won those first 4.
I don't think so.
No, there's no way. Serrano didn't look, because when they first came in, I thought Serrano was like, I thought eyeing him up.
What other rounds do you think that other girl won?
What do you mean?
You're saying she won the first whatever, but
I don't think she won any of the other ones. I don't think she won any. I think it was 4 and 4. That's what I think.
You think it was 4 and 4?
Yeah, I think the first 4 she won. I think the first 4, or maybe it's like the first 3. And then maybe she won the 4th, but lost the 5th. But either way, I'd say they both won 4 rounds. But with that, and you lose a point.
So who wins the fight?
Amanda Serrano. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not complaining about that. But I'm saying when I look at
when
that.
When you take that damage from that headbutt, that changes it too. So.
I don't disagree. And I think she should have 3 points off. I'm not saying you're wrong about Amanda Serrano should be the winner. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is when them judges are judging it, they judge each round. It's 9 or 10. There's nothing they could do about it. If they decided it was this at that time, that's what it is. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't agree.
I mean, if you looked at the end of the fight and wanted to change do you think that would be fair too, or no?
I think they should have went to the scorecards when they had that big ass gash in the girl's eye. They should have stopped the fight.
No, she'd have lost for sure at that point. She hadn't won any rounds yet.
I don't know what fight you watched.
I watched that fight, but she hadn't won any rounds yet.
Yeah.
Not in those first 4, I don't think.
All right. I don't agree with you, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's what they showed when they showed it, too. I think it was like 3 they showed, I think. Like, when they showed the scores on it, I think it was 3 of them everybody was agreeing with. The first 3 rounds. I was shocked because when they walked in the ring, I thought Serrano looked way tougher, and then all of a sudden it was like, what's going on here? This girl's way tougher than I thought she was.
Well, everybody forgets when Tyson fought Holyfield kept leading with his head. Then when he bit him, the time he bit him. So when he bumps him in his head, well, that hurts. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna. It's gonna affect that round whether they got slid on that one or not. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying that. I'm not arguing that. I already said I think you're right that they should. I said there should be 3 points. There's 3 headbutts I think should have been counted as points against her. I agree with that. 100%. I agree with that 100%.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta look at all that.
But if they don't call the headbutt point, the ref don't, and you're the judge, then what do you do?
Well, if you're the judge and you've seen that she keeps headbutting her,
I don't know if you see that when you're watching it in real time. I didn't. In real time, I didn't notice it. Not until they started showing, I'm like, oh, that shit's dirty.
When Tyson was getting hit by Holyfield, that one I didn't see. Well, I seen some of them, but I didn't realize it was that bad. But then you go back and you watch that fight, and you see how many times he's like, oh, shit. You know, like, he just kept on and on.
Yeah, in real time, I didn't see that going on. I didn't. I really didn't. And I noticed it after the fact, after they started talking about it. I'm like, oh, okay.
But you're a judge. You're looking for that kind of stuff. You're watching, each punch. You're counting each punch and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's real time, though. Who knows? She's probably leading with her head with the judges behind her. You know what I mean? You don't know.
You think they're watching from the thing looking up? I think they're watching monitors and shit, like zoomed in and shit, like 3 different monitors and stuff.
No, I think they're watching it live, aren't they?
Maybe.
I thought they were. I thought they were
live,
anyway.
Yeah, it'd be live, but
I think they're in person watching it right there from the table.
Well, I'm sure they've got a better view than everybody else.
Yeah, but if you play them, it's just like in basketball. Like Kobe Bryant always is like freaking shooting the ball and then smacking people, but he does it when a ref ain't looking. He's smacking the shit out of them, or did. You know what I mean? That was like a known fact. Everybody knew it.
That was a good game.
But you see what I'm saying? It's the same effect. I mean, you just do it when the judge ain't. When you know you got her back to the judges.
Bernard Hopkins,
pop her.
Bernard Hopkins was good at that.
Yeah, it's sneaky.
Yeah, he was pretty sneaky.
Sneak. Either way, I'm just saying. Did they score Tyson 10 in the first 2 rounds? Is that true? Johnny Newman just said they scored Tyson 10 in the
Oh,
first
it looked
2
like
rounds.
he was pretty good in the first one. Honestly.
The first round, yeah, I thought he was going to be okay. I thought, but I don't know.
But anyways, what else we got?
Man, that was one of the biggest things going on. That was that, and the Trump picks, and the Trump picks are like, they're wild. They're like, even for me, they're a little too extreme. And I'm like Mr. Right Wing, but goddamn, man.
What? What is he doing?
Well, like this Gatz, that's the Attorney General. Like they don't even know if he'll get confirmed. Like they don't even think that. Like, and then there's other people going, yeah, that's Trump. He's playing his game. He's doing that so that when he picks his real pick, everybody will be like, oh, okay, good. You know what I mean? But I doubt it. I think he really wants him in there. He's putting like everybody's like extreme, and then they're freaking out because that Peter, what's that? Peter had I forget what his name is, the one from Fox News or whatever. I can't think of what his name is right now. But they're freaking out about him, like, oh, he's a news reporter. But then I was looking, it's like he was in Princeton and Yale, and he was pretty high ranking in the military. I mean, he's solid. I mean, there's people that haven't even been in the military that have been the Secretary of Defense. You know what I mean? But I mean, he's definitely there's no although I say that, but then you got like Robert Kennedy, who's a Democrat, always has been a Democrat, but they're going off on him about like, oh, he's an anti-vaxxer and he's this, he's that. They're like freaking out about him. And then that Tulsi Gabbard, everybody's like, oh, because I guess she was on a terrorist watch list at some point or something, which is just ridiculous. And then I heard that Bernie Sanders, in fact, I heard it and then I went and checked to see if it was true, and it was true. Bernie Sanders actually tweeted Trump tweeted out that he was looking forward to working with Trump to get credit cards all down to 10%. To stop these big banks from damaging. Now, so his picks they're definitely good, big fuck yous to the left wing for sure, no question asked. But then when you take Tulsi Gabbard and you take Robert Kennedy, who the left just basically fucked over, and Bernie Sanders, who the left fucked over. I mean, he was like basically the one in the lead. Everybody wanted Bernie Sanders when Hillary was running against Trump. And they dogged him, basically. They just went, nope, it's going to be Hillary. You know what I mean? So you take those 3 people that the left have discarded, you know what I mean? And Trump starts working with them. And I mean, Bernie Sanders is a socialist. I mean, but he has the thing he doesn't like is the big banking. That's a good thing, like slowing down the big banking and the money that they're getting fees for. Because they are getting like ridiculous. Like the credit cards are like 18, 19%, some of them. And that don't even count the fees. They're charging people fees. And if you got bad credit, you're probably paying 24, 25% with fees and all these different things.
So he's going to try to put a cap on it, kind of?
To 10%. Now, that being said, Reagan was the one who got that cap lifted to free up money, so there was actual money to borrow, because at that time, money was tight. So I don't know if banks will be willing to lend money whenever they're not getting enough back on their money. So that's a whole nother issue. But it's an interesting one. I mean, it's definitely, I think it would be, I mean, there should be a loan sharking point. There should be a point when it's loan sharking, period, I think. I feel like there should be, especially when I would say 90% of the credit card and borrowed money debt that's out there is to like the less, what's the word? I don't want to say, it's the poor
class.
It's the working class, but it's also just like the people with the least amount of means. You know what I'm saying? Like they if they're putting stuff on credit cards to get through and like live life because they don't have the money, you know what I mean? They don't really have the option to pay it off every month. Those same people, you know what I mean? So I think that that's a fair or a good fight. I think that's a good fight to fight.
Well, that goes for everybody. That's not just for one aspect of people. It's not like just the poor class, the working class, the rich. It's for everybody.
It is,
So-
but like but like people with money and means that put stuff on credit cards, they do it for, airplane miles and points and and simplicity and easy of use, and then they pay it off. You know what I mean? The ones that are going to pay those big interest are the ones that are really the ones that probably need to get the least amount of being taken advantage of, honestly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Those are the people that need it the most, and you're taking the most money out of those people, is what I'm saying, I guess. The people that can't afford to pay it off every month are the ones that are paying the big money to these banks and things like that. So, I mean, I get it. It's a good fight. I think it's a fair fight. And you're right, it does go across the board. Question is, does it free up enough? Will the money be freed up? Will the people with the money be willing to put it out there for a risk of a lot less percentage?
Yeah, but I think the cuts where that other shit. Remember you sent me this week where all that stupid ass government spending.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That was crazy, wasn't it?
That's not even a fraction of it.
I know, but the shit that's on there is just like, you got to be kidding me. Overseas, like studying how
helmets and seatbelts in another country is it safer for them?
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, you don't have to have a study for it.
It's common fucking sense.
Millions of dollars for that.
And then like about gay frogs in different places. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's our money being spent on stupid shit like that.
Do you think it's really being spent on that, or they're just doing dumb shit with it? Like, is that just like the excuse it's on?
That's an excuse to spend money. What they're doing is I want to go on vacation here, so I'm going to do a study over there.
I think what they should do, I think what would solve most of those problems, like that stupid money being spent.
Prosecute them fuckers. That's what.
No, well, that would help, but I think even better than that is to change the way a bill can be written. The problem is if they want to pass a bill to say all the restaurants and stuff were hurt from COVID, and we decided, okay, we're going to give the restaurants in America some money, and we want to give them $10 billion we're going to allocate for these restaurants in America that are hurting. Well, that bill can be written and only written based on restaurants that showed profits at this date or this date, and then the ones that didn't show profits, and that stuff should be written. But for some reason, there's 600 pages. You could have probably written in 2, but it's like, oh, we're going to redo this museum. We're going to send money to Egypt so they can see how gay people are working out in their country. We're going to send money to France so they can figure out this or that. Like, in a 600 thing to help the restaurants in America, it doesn't make sense. They should limit, like, literally each bill should be only limited to one thing. That's what I think. Why should a bill ever have more than one thing on it? Why?
Because they're pulling the wool over your eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they sit there and go, "Oh, he's not voting." It's like Kamala was running in the campaign. She kept saying that, Trump. First of all, Trump wasn't even in office, but they said Trump's the one who buried the bill. They had the border package bill or whatever. And they kept saying that Trump buried it. Well, that just goes to show you Trump can get shit done, first of all, because he's not even in office and he's getting it taken care of. But second of all, she's saying that he was killing something that was for the border crossings and that was solving all of our problems. The truth is there was so much freaking fat in there and so much, like, they were just still going to be letting X amount in. They were giving sanctity to everybody that was here. You know what I mean? There was all kinds of bad shit in that bill. Just doesn't make sense. Why can't a bill, like, I swear to God, I think a bill by law can be no longer than 3 pages. Boom, end of story. That's what I think. I think you set the law, the bill's 3 pages long. If it's longer than that, you can't have it. Oh, well, can't go in there. You better trim that down to 3 or write another bill. Because if you wrote a bill saying that I want to send money to Europe for them to study how shoes affect their feet, we're going to say no.
Well, that's why they pull the wool over your eyes.
But if it's buried
Sneak it in there.
to help these poor kids that don't have food, we go, oh, the poor kids that
why
don't
they
have
do that?
food.
You know why they do that? Because it's so hard to trace the money. That's what it is.
But it sounds like and they said too, they said, was it the Pentagon or was it the FBI maybe? One of them, I forget. One of those agencies has never passed an audit, ever. They asked them, they said, so how long has it been since they've passed it off? They go, oh, they've never passed an audit. Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Why have the audit then? I sent out a tweet last night to Elon Musk. I sent him I tagged him on on X. I said, if you really want to trim the fat, how about you just simplify the tax codes so that you could just eliminate 80% of the IRS workers, because it'll just be simpler to figure out. It'll just be easy. Simplify the tax code. Why has it got to be so complicated?
Why is all these tax, like, rich, poor, middle class, put a fucking a percentage straight across
Flat
the
tax,
board?
you like that? Flat
I
tax.
love it.
Flat tax, I'm not. I don't think we should. Personally, I think they should get rid of all income tax, and then only tax corporations. That's what I think. That's how it used to be in the country. When we were the richest country in the world, that's how it was.
Well, it ain't never going back to that. You know that.
No, because they figured out they could get us.
Well,
but that's what it should
you
be.
go flat all the way across the board, and everybody ain't. Oh, they're not paying their share. You know what I mean?
That's not fair for the guy that's only making $10,000 a year. He's got to pay $2,500 out. If you pay 25% flat tax,
Who said 25%? What if it's 10 all the way across?
even if it's 10, if you got $10,000 for the year, you got to pay $1,000. That's a lot. If you got it, you know what I mean?
Or whatever. I'm not saying the percentage. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm just saying everybody should pay their fair share.
I don't disagree with you on that.
What if it's 5%?
I don't like the flat tax. A lot of people are for it. You're not the only person out there that thinks flat tax is the way to go.
Because somebody's getting fucked one way or another.
The problem is it's not that, like, I don't even know if the flat I think just simplify the tax code somehow. Flat tax would be great, I guess. But the problem is then it becomes, when do you, I mean, because a lot of these things that are in there that you don't pay taxes on is because they're things you wrote off. I mean, granted, it's money you spent, so it helps economy anyways. So that's why write-offs aren't really a horrible thing. I mean, people always, oh, he wrote off. Well, but he also spent. You know what I mean? Like a guy like Trump, when he said, "Oh, you wrote off $1 billion." Hillary said that, like, you wrote off $1 billion in taxes or whatever, and he said, "You're damn right, I did." But the thing that people forget is he also spent $1 billion to Americans somewhere. That, you know what I mean? That was written off, and that's where the question becomes: okay, you get a flat tax, but when you buy a boat, do you get to take that off of that, or if when you buy a car, do you get to take that off of? You know what I'm saying? Like that's where
those are all questionable things. But what's not is like what he's saying about the not taxing overtime. I like that.
Yeah, but like Steven, he's like, fuck, because he's on salary. He's like, this is bullshit.
You can't please everybody. but what I'm saying is, if he does that, that gives people incentive to work. That makes the economy boom. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna put in the extra hours. You're gonna make more money. You're gonna do more things. That's like lowering gas. That makes people spend on gas because they're not. Oh, I ain't gonna drive around because you know what I'm saying. It makes
honestly, I think that whole tax system right now is just a redistribution of money, though. I mean, I don't even think we need. I think you could actually zero out taxes for people's income. Period. Overtime, tips, everything. Regular wages. I think you could get rid of it all, and I think we'd be okay. Because the people that are paying taxes, there's other people that are getting ridiculous amounts of money that paid no taxes. Like, they're getting $15,000 tax returns, another guy's paying 10. You know what I mean? It just, I think if you I think it would zero out better than you think it would. People are like, oh, well, you got to pay. I think when it comes down to like the income taxes, the actual like working man's income tax, not businesses and stuff. I'm not talking about that. But the working man's income tax, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's just a redistribution of money. It doesn't really do anything to the government.
I know that fucking. Well, the way he's saying it right now is no tax on overtime. I like it.
And no tax on tips, too.
Well, I don't care about that because that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but it's nice because you won't have to tip the bartenders as much.
Don't be saying that shit. Them girls gonna key your truck.
They get to keep it all, so you ain't got to tip them as much. See? Get to put some more money in your pocket.
Them girls, woo, they're about their money, boy.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Too much, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I worry about that, too, with the ones that are about their money that much. It's a little bit much, I think.
Yeah, it's almost like a
Sometimes.
mental illness or something.
Well, you worry about what they're like.
Capable of.
If they're worried about money that much, you worry. You got to worry about, like,
I don't know about that.
everybody has to worry about that. That's a real thing. You know, the only one that hasn't proven to be true with so far really was Amanda Santiago. She's never she's a fair person. She's about her money, but she's about fairness too. You know, like she's about right and wrong. But anybody else that's been really about their money, it's turned out that they take or took or whatever. You know what I mean? Something.
What's up with their lateness though?
I don't know what that's about.
Hour yesterday, 45 minutes.
Always. That's all. Every shift. That's always
just not
how
fair
it is.
to the other girls.
It isn't fair. And the thing that bugs me about it more than anything is that forever she was a server, and her shift started at 4, and she would show up at 4:30 or quarter to 5, somewhere around there. And then as soon as she started bartending, all of a sudden she can't make it at 5. Well, wait a minute. You made it at 4 before. You can't make it at 5 now? Or you made it at 4:30 before, but you can't make it. It doesn't make sense. It's just that's just
It's
my
different
time.
if there was nobody there in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So the other girl, and I ain't saying because of the girl yesterday. I'm just saying in general, which I've seen her do it multiple times.
Oh, I'll be honest. It's every day. She never is on time, ever.
That's
And I'll be honest. Last Sunday, I had to bartend in the morning, and that was the reason I didn't want to bartend more than anything else. Was I was like, God damn it, she's not going to be here till 6 o'clock. Actually, Liz ended up coming in and covering for me. She came in and covered a shift for me, but really that was the most stressful part about the whole situation that was going on, because Jess called off while we were on air last weekend, and I think she had mentioned that she was sick, or she had been sick all week, so it wasn't a real big surprise. But she definitely said she couldn't come in. Nobody would cover it, so I had to do it.
right.
The big stressor to me, and I swear to God, I could show you the text messages. The big stressor I had is, this is great. Now I'm going to be here till 6 o'clock because Amanda's the one coming in tonight. It's not right to the people that you work with.
Yeah, somebody, I ain't saying anything. I'm just saying, if a girl is working and she's maybe getting picked up, you know what I'm saying? My ride's going to be here at 5 or whatever time she starts. And she's got to be here an hour because, she's late.
Well, and not only that, you know how much money Amanda's missing in that hour? That's a busy hour, usually. She's missing a lot of money in that hour. That's usually we start really getting busy in that hour.
Everybody got their flaws in work, but that's hers. Out of everything else, she's great. But
that's her definite flaw. Her lateness is definitely her flaw for sure.
I don't understand that.
I don't either, because I have that incentive program where if you show up to all your shifts on time, you get $1 more an hour.
She ain't never hit it.
She has never gotten it, ever. She's never gotten it. And I would have thought for her that she would have, she's about her money. I would have thought for sure she would have been the first one to try and get that $1 an hour. But she didn't. They didn't even care about it that much. Didn't even pay attention to it, quite frankly. Which is wild, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's pretty wild to me, because I would have thought for sure.
Well, no, she's going to hear about this and she's going to be mad at us.
It's okay.
It's all right. It's the truth.
But how fair is that, though? But nobody else is allowed to be mad that she's late every day. But if we say something about it, we're the ones that are in the wrong?
Right.
How does that work? I don't think that's how it works, dude. That's not how it works. I mean, if you're wrong, you're wrong. I mean, you got to sit there and own it.
I was getting on her a little bit yesterday about it, but.
Oh, you already lit the fire?
She wasn't mad. She just kind of laughed it off, but.
No, she don't care. It doesn't matter
she'll be
to her.
late today or tomorrow or whatever.
What's that?
When she's scheduled, she'll be late.
Oh, yeah, 100%. She's never come on time, ever. And like I said, it was a different shift. That's what she said, something like she was mad because I wouldn't schedule her on the patio. And I tried. I scheduled her a few shifts on the patio in the summer, and she's showing up at like 4 something. It's like, no, that patio shift starts at 3 o'clock. And she said then I took her off of it because she doesn't show up on time. And she texted me and said, how come I'm not getting any patio shifts? I said, because that shift starts at 3 and there's nobody there waiting, just holding over till you decide to get there. She didn't ever say, I'll be there at 3 nothing. She just was like, okay.
Oh, shit.
She was like, oh, okay,
Yeah, well.
that's good.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
That makes sense.
Oh. Well, I ain't mad at you. All right. Talk to you later.
I expected her to like at least try and like something come back. Nothing. You got to respect that a little bit.
No.
That's how she is, though. I mean, that's the person she is, I guess. I don't know. Did you see this? This speaking that because you said something about like her like I said she's at least she admits what she does or knows what she does or whatever. Did you see this guy that did the undercover stuff in Indiana with?
What are you talking about?
So in Indiana, this guy, he's in Indiana and he's what is it? Marketplace. So they're having problems for some reason. They're having problems with this Indiana. They're having trouble with the marketplace. So with the marketplace, then they put out a secret undercover police basically to go in and answer these ads that are
Questionable.
Yeah, something. I don't know exactly what it is that they're doing exactly like what. I don't know where it is coming from specifically, but yeah, they got these secret undercover cops or whatever you want to call it. And these undercover cops they're doing answering ads for people selling stuff on Marketplace, okay? So they go to this guy and something goes wrong the whole time, whatever goes on. Cops end up shooting them. Okay, they're going to buy a PlayStation, if I remember right. I think that's what it was. It was a PlayStation. So they go to buy this PlayStation, and they end up shooting them. Of course, like their family's like all up in arms about it, and the whole thing, like, oh, he wasn't trying to kill them. That was just it was just like he must have thought he was going to get robbed or something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? So the police enter the footage. I guess they had like a drone footage of it, is what it was. So they put this video out to like try and basically clear their cops. You know what I'm saying? And this dude straight up, literally just takes and freaking takes it. The guy turns his back. So the cop comes up and he talks to him for a minute. And as he's talking to him, the freaking, he says, oh, everything's in there in the bag. And he walks behind him, pulls out a machete, dude, and swings it, like tries to take his head off with this machete. And the cop, I mean, good enough that he ducked. He was smart enough to duck, I guess. But yeah, he basically takes off it, like tries to take off his head. And they released a video, and the family's still talking about trying to get. Here it is, right here.
Seen here. Police say he suddenly reaches for a machete to attack that undercover officer. Video from a police drone shows the melee, but ends before another officer shoots and kills Richmond.
The suspect attempted to rob our undercover officer and attacked him with a machete-style weapon.
Shahad was a devoted father.
Richmond's sister says Shahad had a young son and a baby on the way, selling the game console to help his kids. And she believes that Shahad thought he was being robbed and never heard police announce themselves.
My brother was
Yeah, she's so full of shit. Come on now. The police never announced him. That dude had he walked behind him.
Right.
Pulled
Like
it out
ambush,
sneakily and tried to swing at him at the back of his neck, and he aimed right at his neck. Like, you've seen that video. Like swiping right at his damn neck, dude. And then they shot him, and they're in the families are just like, oh, the cops shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have killed him. They shouldn't have. I mean, goddamn. He almost, and then she tries to say that he had a sheath on it, which I don't know if he did or not. But would that even make a difference that you're swinging like he did?
No, hell no. That thing would break right through it.
I would think, right? It'd hurt you for sure, regardless.
And if you hit somebody in the neck with just like a blunt object like that, you're gonna kill them.
Yeah, you could, yeah. Let alone a machete. That thing, did you see that thing, dude? And that cop, I'll give him props. I don't know how the hell he had eyes in the back of his head, dude.
He ducked this on time. Boy.
Just in time. That thing had to have been like within a half inch of his freaking head, dude. That was wild. And yeah, so they're saying, oh, innocent. The sister, I think, is who that was on there. It said a sister.
You know, people want that to be true, but you know what I'm saying? Like a family member would want it to be true. Like Jeffrey Dahmer's parents probably are like, he didn't eat them people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hell no.
Yeah, I mean that's just crazy though. I mean, but the police released a video now, and I don't know if I'm not sure if after the fact that they still say that. I know they were saying it at first.
Yeah,
I don't know
if
that.
got proof in your face.
From what I understand, they released the video. Went, oh yeah, here you go, and released it.
Wow.
Which is good. That way it stops the uproar. That was in Gary, Indiana. That's not that far. Pretty close. Michael Jackson's stomping around. That might be one of Michael Jackson's descendants. Trying to wipe off heads.
Oh, people are crazy, man. You imagine if they didn't have footage of that shit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What would you do? And it was weird that they had drone footage. That dude didn't notice a drone over his head.
Man, they got some nice drones now.
But don't you always hear them or no? They're quiet like that, you think?
Man, we know technology is just so advanced how it just changes every day. The ones we seen probably said, that motherfucker probably just has shit. Or high enough where you didn't hear it.
Nah, that's true. If you go high enough, you might not hear it. Or if you, Gary, Indiana's probably got sirens going all the time, so you just don't hear it over the sirens.
Yeah, gunshots and shit. Yeah, you didn't hear it.
I was thinking about it the other day because you know how because all this racist stuff that's went on, and they accuse Trump of being racist and all the different things that they've said, and the different when they said that North Carolina thing, but they cut it. So they completely cut out where he said, "I'm not talking about the white supremacists. They should be condemned." They completely cut that off and say the rest of it, but. All these different things where they say Trump is racist, and his history is definitely not. And actually, your buddy yesterday was what was his name? John Jones or whatever. He was freaking doing the Trump dance. He's Mr. Trump guy. Gave him the belt and everything. He's been in that black culture his whole life. But I was thinking about it. When I was a kid, I mean, our parents were kind of racist. Our parents were like the older people. But us kids, nobody I knew really was. The people I grew up where I was around. Then I started thinking the TV shows weren't even racist.
Are you crazy?
No, not really. The movies that were coming out, not the TV show. Now I'm talking about late 80s. I'm talking about late 80s, early 90s. They weren't racist.
Archie Bunker wasn't?
That's before. That's 70s. That's our parents' generation. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. But that's our parents' generation.
Dukes of Hazzard wasn't?
No, not Dukes. What was racist about Dukes of Hazzard?
Oh my God!
What was racist about Dukes of Hazzard? I didn't see nothing racist about that.
Okay.
I really didn't. I mean, the Cosbys were the #1 show in the country. In Living Color was killing it back then. I mean, people weren't the race thing was not a thing, and the jokes weren't. I mean, some of the jokes had some especially in Living Color. Were kind of racist.
That's what I was gonna say. It never stopped. The racist jokes are always there. And
they're still funny. They're still. I mean, they're funny. That's just all there is to it. They're still funny. But then, I you look at Break-In. I love that movie. I don't know if you even knew what that movie was. Break-In or
Come on, man.
did you know what it was? Or Beat Street? But if you remember, like, that was a movie that was about young inner city kids that were fighting the system and the big money corps and stuff like that type stuff. But it never was a race baiting thing. It was about the people with money and the poor people. That's all it was about. It was never about, like, the actual race of it. That shit all, like, they brought that shit all up, like, later. All that stuff came about later.
Racism.
We had, like, a good solid 15 years where that really wasn't an issue in this country.
I don't agree with you.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
There's always been racism. There always will be.
I'm not saying there wasn't. I'm just saying that, like, dude, it dominates the news. Like, the whole thing with that, like I said, with the election, like, oh, and the Puerto Rican vote, he got this, and the black vote, he got this. That shit's retarded, dude.
Well, you go to other states like Louisiana, it's still kind of segregated and shit. There's different cultures that are still, there's racism there.
I'm not saying there's not, but in the general population, it's far less than what they put on the news. Mm-hmm. By far less than what they put on the news. It absolutely is. That's like, have you seen the Netflix special with that guy that's on Saturday Night Live? What's the one, Shay? The one that does the Weekend Report, the black guy in it.
Oh yeah.
He said I was all about the Black Lives Matters movement. He does it in a Netflix special. He said, and I was like, I'm getting in on this. He goes, I got there. He goes, I must have been late. It was all white women. It's really like, I don't think that the racism thing, like even TV shows, all that stuff seemed to be a little more like, we all embraced in The Color Purple and felt for her in that movie, you know, with the kids when she's in that what was it, the shed or whatever it was. Remember that? That she's like, oh, you did you see that movie?
Oh yeah, but I don't remember it. Shit, that was what, 30 years ago?
Murdering them kids in them shed, I'll never forget that. So that a white man can't get them. We all felt for that when we seen it. But like now it seems like everything's so race baiting, and it's like, Jesus Christ, would you stop already? Especially with me, the election thing's what bugs me the most, because the race had nothing to do with how somebody voted. A person was voting based on what their personal beliefs were, and the truth of the matter is America's so intertwined that race isn't what separates people, like as far as their
money's
decision.
what separates them. That's a racism right there.
That's a fact. Money separates them. Your job, you're voting your job. You know, you get these people that are doing all these things that are like, I can't believe you chose getting a reasonably priced cheese over women's rights. I'm so glad you got some cheap cheese. Have you seen that or no?
No, but I want some good cheese. Man, I don't care about none of that shit.
But this is the thing. So the women's rights they're talking about is the right to kill a baby. Like, that's the right they're fighting for. Never mind the woman has to get in a ring with a man or, you know, share a bathroom with a man. Those rights, those don't count. Shame on women for even wanting those rights.
So what did Trump say about that bathroom shit?
He said that's done. He goes, that's over with. He said that immediately. Yeah, he said that for sure.
I was like, thank God. Why are we having this discussion? Why are people talking about that stupid shit?
Well, that's a simple answer. It's that health and welfare lady. I didn't know that's what she was in charge of. The general, it's a guy, but he's dressed like a woman in a skirt, and he's overweight and got a double chin and everything.
It's the thing of health or something.
Yeah, that's the one that's being replaced by Bobby Kennedy now. Yeah. And that's why I said yesterday, I said on my Facebook, I go, I just want to check, is Health and Social Services, does that have anything to do with mental health? Because clearly that dude ain't mentally right, dude. I don't care. And you know what? It's time in this country we start telling people, you've got a mental issue is the problem with you. If you want to, and for us to put somebody like that in charge, clearly there's no possible way that
That's
that person...
outcome. That ain't a good outcome.
No, their mental health cannot, and that's who's in charge of the mental health in the United States right now. So if you want to know what's wrong with the mental health, that's a big part of it. And the reason they're pushing transgenderism, that's a big part of it. And why they're pushing it on kids, that's a big part of it. I mean, it should never be pushed on kids. It should never, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, when you were 4, you probably felt like a girl.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. My sister's dresses didn't fit. Shit.
But that's the thing that's going on. They're basically saying, you know, oh, he identifies as a girl when he's 5, 6 years old. Let's start, you know, ruining his life so that he can never have kids.
I don't know if I should bring this up, but remember when Dylan started playing with, what was it?
It's freaking me out.
He was like,
what was it? Oh, Stuffies. He likes Stuffies, and he used to love pink
I was like,
too.
he's gonna change, man. You're like, oh, I hope so. I remember that shit.
I was nervous. I'm like, man, damn it.
Yeah.
I was nervous. I ain't gonna lie.
I remember that shit. Clear as hell. I wasn't gonna say it, but
I was nervous. I was like,
man, dude, I don't know, man.
And Amanda's like just going, oh, shut up. Hey, I love him anyways. I'm like, yeah. But he's shown to be like, I mean, he's all boy now. But
Right.
he's a boy now. He just had to get through his, like, figure it out a little bit.
Yeah.
He was hanging around with his mama too much.
Yeah. Need to put some men in his life. Go out there and play some football. Get the hell out of here.
That's all he does now. Sit out there with them boys and play football, basketball, soccer, and the videos. That thing, that's like, it's a stressful thing. That like having a kid and they're always on their device. Like that's because I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's, I mean, I know it's not good for them. I know it's better, but that is the way the world is now.
Right.
That is what it is.
And you know what? In that neighborhood, and like you said, he's playing football.
He is getting out there
baseball,
a lot, yeah.
Basketball.
Yeah. But it's still like, it just stresses me out.
Yeah.
But
You're just conscious.
That's what he wants for his birthday, too, is like a gaming PC. Which his birthday's coming up. And he wants a gaming PC. That's what he wants. And it's just like, ugh. And then I'm nervous. Like, well,
what you do is you hook it up to a bike, and with a little generator.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty good.
The only way it'll fucking work is if you're pedaling over. Hey, I might have came up with something right there.
There you go. That's a good one for the kids. Yeah, that would work out.
Stationary bike with a generator, and if you want to play it,
that's how you got to play it.
That's how you got to play it.
Could you imagine, dude, you're like on a run, like you're going through like, and you've been going for like a half hour and you're just afraid you're going to run out and you just can't stop and you're playing and playing and playing. You're just like, whoa, man, oh, the shit.
There won't be no little chubby boys running around.
Well, I think that...
Well, you hook a battery up to it so it keeps a little charge, you know, so they can get a little break. And then when the battery starts going down, they're like, shit, and they got to pedal again.
I mean, it's just scary, but it is the way it is. I mean, our generation, our parents thought we were on the TV too much, and we weren't, but they thought we were. You know what I mean?
Man, I was so skinny, my mom took me to doctors, and they said, there ain't nothing wrong with him. He's just a healthy, active boy.
Yeah.
Because I was so damn skinny.
That's how I was, real skinny, too. But we had, like, when I remember my first house, the one Anthony lives in. I remember going down that street and I bought the house, and the street there was a mixture of some really nice yards and some ones that needed some work. Like the people weren't really taking care of their yard. I remember like looking specifically back then and seeing satellite dishes on everyone with a shitty yard. And I thought, I'm not getting cable, nothing. There's no reason. I mean, we'll get our 3, 5, and 8 with the antenna, save the money, and my kids won't be damaged with, you know, cable TV and all that stuff. And I felt that way for a while. I think I might have lived there like a year that way, or 6 months or 7 months.
No cable.
With no cable, yeah. And then I felt bad because we went over, I think her mom, Lexa and Haley were like enthralled. They're like, watching Britney and Christina Aguilera show their belly buttons.
If you'd had that stationary bike thing, you'd have been fine.
So I gave in and I got it. But, I mean, and that was TV. And I was worried about it. And now here all of a sudden now we've got, and Dylan really has, there's some issues I think are from that. There's like there's a genuine anxiety when they don't have anything stimulating them. Like they have this, like they have to constantly be stimulated.
Do you think that's a marketing thing?
What do you mean?
Like what you just said. Like
No, I think it's because it's awesome. I mean, I'm the same way, dude. I can get on my device and chill for hours.
What I'm saying is that you think it's a marketing thing.
No, it just is. It's just cool. I mean, it works that it's marketing. I get it, but I don't believe there's a conspiracy behind it.
No, I ain't saying that. I'm just saying somebody's like, oh, well, you know, the new device will have this, and going off of what people are watching.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, that's just. I mean, I guess maybe it's marketing. I don't know. It's just awesome. It's just what it is. It's just like it's compared to what we had as a kid at 11 years old. Compared to what we had,
you look at
it's
Pac-Man.
amazing.
Remember what you just said yesterday? When you're looking at Pac-Man compared to what you got now.
Oh yeah, and I could spend hours playing Pac-Man when I was a kid.
Right. Oh yeah.
Hours.
I used to walk up to hills and play Miss Pac-Man all the time. You remember that over there?
Yeah, I remember that one, and we used to go to laundromat and play Donkey Kong.
Then you go take a break and you go get the big bag of popcorn.
But I mean, I don't know. That's just, it's scary, but I don't want to take it 100% away from them because.
No, you just limited it. That's all.
Yeah, but I should limit myself too, though. I think I do it too much. I do. I think I do.
That's like having a fox watch the chickens. It's not going to work.
But I need to, though. I think I need to like.
How are you gonna govern yourself?
Just set it down. You know what I was watching a show, or it was a show. Me and Troy talked about it, and they had this. They were walking around with these Mennonites, but they call themselves Beachy Amish for some reason. I don't know why. But their church, literally, they're like. Their devices have like locks and privacy settings on it, and their church actually
controls it.
Yeah, their church has all the passwords and settings for everything. Like what they allow that to like one or two people, or and I think like maybe he controls his wife's and she controls his type stuff, and that's how they do it. And that way they limit how much time and what they look at on the internet and stuff on their phones. But they have them, but they just
look at man that Amish stuff that. Or I don't know if it's Amish. I don't know anything about that culture, but
it's a cult. You mean it's a fucking cult?
Well, anyways, when they're on the job sites now, they're running excavators, skid steers.
Fuck yeah, they are. They're cult.
Phone,
tax free,
dually truck. I'm like, what the fuck? This is totally different from what I'm.
Well, it all comes down to, because my mom obviously lives out in the Amish country. So what it comes down to is the bishop of that specific.
But the rules ain't you breaking the rules of the tax breaks and all that?
No, well, they don't get as many tax breaks as people think they do. They still have to. The problem is that they don't get the tax breaks people think. People think they don't pay taxes and this and that. It is true. There are things that they do utilize that they don't pay for, such as roads. They don't buy gas or tires, so they don't pay a road tax. So why should we support roads for their buggies, right? They should get their own.
Shit and everything,
right? Yeah, that we should that. So that is one thing. But I mean, if they have income, they have to pay taxes on it. The thing is that most of them take their income and put it in the church. You know what I mean?
Then
and then it's tax free in the church. Yeah.
Well, that's still a glitch, I guess.
And the bishop's the one who decides whether or not they're allowed to do this or that, or what they're allowed to do. Some are real stringent, some are a little more laxed. And then there's Mennonites, which are different. Mennonites they go with modern conveniences. They have electricity, they have cars, they have everything.
I don't understand all that.
That's their Mennonites. They're just they're almost English, but they still dress like that and stuff.
I met was really nice. Nice people.
Yeah. That's because they're trying to get you to join their cult.
No, they don't want Puerto Ricans.
Yes, they do. You think they don't? There's Puerto Rican Amish.
I never seen it.
Oh, yeah. They adopt kids because they have too much problem with inbreeding and stuff. They adopt kids for sure. You know, I don't know what all races they've adopted, but there are.
Yeah, there was that one in that one show. There was a black dude. Remember him?
No. What show?
The Amish Mafia.
No, I never watched that one too much.
No.
Amanda used to watch the one Breaking Amish, but never. She watched maybe a little of the Amish Mafia, but I never got into it with her at all or anything.
Them dumbasses incriminated themselves on fucking camera.
They did?
Yeah, that one was in prison. I don't know if he still is.
Because of the show?
Yeah. They incriminated themselves. I'm like, what the fuck? So that goes to show you that section wasn't too bright.
Yeah, well, it's inbreeding, all that inbreeding. They have their life is so much simpler, but it's not bad probably to them. They probably don't even, you know what I mean? They probably enjoy the shit out of their lives. You know? I mean.
I'll tell you what, them boys out there working, man, they work.
Oh, yeah.
Some working motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah, that's what they believe life is about. Hard days work and.
Give all their money away.
Well, they don't give all their money away. I don't know how it works exactly, but they live good because I know they have like when the daughters get married and stuff, they give them a bunch of money and stuff. They must have it from somewhere.
Well, I don't know how they got. Well,
they got money. They all got money. All of them.
They should. Money. They work like dogs.
Yeah, they all got money. So I mean, I don't know. They ain't giving it all away because they all seem to have money. They got those houses are big that they build.
And then they say, "Go get a hammer." They don't stroll to go get the hammer. They run.
Yeah.
They run back, tripping over everything. But they'll run. They don't play.
Well, they're probably working with their dad, too.
Yeah, they probably get beat at home if you don't hurry up. No.
Well, I mean, like Dylan's 11. He runs everywhere he goes, and most of those guys are 12 or 13, too. So
no, these guys are in their 20s. But these guys run, man. I'll tell you, they're not, I don't know.
No, they're workers. I'm not saying they're not.
But their efficiency ain't good.
They're hacks. They're real bad. Like on our big buildings we do, they're real bad.
If they was shown the right way, they'd be awesome. Like they just do it so. Just the only thing in their head is fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
They're there to make money.
I get it, but still, they get kicked off jobs because they do sloppy work.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is if somebody showed them the right way and that speed they're going.
I believe they've been shown the right way. They just don't care.
Oh,
they're just trying to make the money. I think they've been shown the right way. Their houses look pretty good. You know what I mean? But they're just out there making money. We do them like they don't give a shit. Like we have walls that are off. Like they don't check the crown on shit. Walls are just like.
Yeah, I see.
It's bad.
I got videos actually of houses that I've been in that they've built. How crooked the framing is.
It's bad. Like we've been to hotels.
The walls are like this, and then they got scabs in there so they go catch the wood and shit. And I'm like, done drywall. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, they're rough for sure. And we've done a lot of hotels with them where they'll come in and frame up the hotel, and then we come in behind them. Mm-hmm. And it's bad. It's almost always pretty bad.
Yeah, you're scabbing in wood.
That's why I laugh because you always see all these like things that say Amish build. It's like, good luck with that.
Yeah. Then if you go to these new houses and shit, and they really do water down that concrete so bad.
It probably pours easier.
Yeah, a lot easier. Yeah, you would if you was a laborer, you'd be like, thank God he wet it down.
Yeah, work it hard.
But if you're a contractor or homeowner and you know anything about concrete, you'd be like, that's garbage. But whatever.
I wish we'd added some water to my concrete.
Oh, yeah.
About 3 yards.
Yeah. You got robbed.
I think I did too. That shit bugs me every day too. I got to get that fixed at some point, but I'm too far in right now.
Yeah, I think you got robbed for about a yard, to be honest with you.
I think it's at least a yard, maybe 2. But we only ordered 3 yards at the end. It's got to be at least a yard and a half, though. It was a lot. Because I got rid of that angle, and I couldn't get high enough, and I filled it back in with stone.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah,
when it spit out, I was like, there should be a lot more in that truck.
I have a video I told you when the truck gets there. All there was left was that little corner.
Right.
How is that possible?
There was not no 3. Well, you ordered 3, right?
Yeah. And he told me to order 2, and I ordered 3.
Right.
Doesn't add up.
It don't.
Drives me absolutely nuts.
I'm glad that wasn't our fault, though.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't your fault. I mean, I'm not saying that. I never meant that. Right. And I want you to get misconstrued.
I should have said 5 yards when you only needed 1.
Do you see the awesome shirt that my daughter bought me?
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. My Prince shirt. Rocking that today. She bought me it. I don't ever wear it anywhere because it seems a little gay. But I do love Prince, and I do like... I went to see Purple Rain like 20 times in the movie theater. Like 21, 22 times. Something like that. Back when they had it at Lorain Twin Cinema.
And you said you what? You didn't wear a shirt because of why?
That makes me feel a little gay now.
How many times did you go to the movies to watch that?
22 times.
Okay.
But I didn't. But that's how it was back then. No, all your musicians were homos. Look at the.
Who said he was homo?
He's got to be something ain't right with him.
Nobody ever said that. Nobody came out and said he was queer.
But all those guys were gay like that. Like all those hair bands. Everybody was like in leopard skins and tight stuff. Like
it was a feminine look.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Prince was
saying.
Gay now.
They always had the ruffles and shit. Like
No.
In fact, in this shirt, he's got the ruffles on it. The ruffle shirt.
There was no allegations of him being gay.
No, he had that Carmen Electra thing going on too, and all that. Yeah, there's a couple of them, but yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I feel gay wearing the shirt is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and how many times did you go to the movies? 22 times?
I didn't feel gay then. I was only like 13, 14. Not even that, maybe 12. I don't know.
I'm sure gay people don't feel they're gay. They're just gay. That's what you was.
I think gay people feel gay. That's what they're trying to say.
No.
That's the whole thing is they say they feel gay.
They don't say that.
Who don't say that?
Gay people.
What do they say?
Nothing.
What do you mean no?
They say, hey. But no.
They just develop a lisp?
Yeah. You know how that is. We've seen it personally here.
Yeah, they just get a lisp.
Yeah, you get a lisp.
And
then your wrist look like it's broke.
You think I should walk around in a Purple Rain shirt with a lisp and see if people treat me different?
Oh, yeah, they'll walk away from you. Or they'll flock to you, one or the other.
I do love Prince, though. I think Prince is one of the greatest musicians of all time, honestly.
That's no question, yeah.
I love Prince. Always have loved Prince.
Yeah,
and
22 times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you remember back then at Lorain Twin Cinemas, they had Dollar Night on Monday and Wednesday. Remember? Mm-hmm. And they held it over like 25 weeks or something like that. It got held over when it came in. It was always packed every time you went there on
That was the
Dollar Night.
most ghetto movie theater I ever went to in my life. But I used to go all the time.
Oh, all the time. It was $1. It was $1 on Monday and Wednesday. So, of course, it was ghetto. Everybody's screaming and yelling. And...
Yeah. I told you he wasn't gay when he had that love scene.
No, they're yelling at each other. Like, you'd have them yelling like, so-and-so's got a big ass, or, you know what I mean? They would just yell dumb shit. Like, just stupid shit.
No, that's what I'm talking about. In the Prince one, there was a
Lake
the love scene,
Minnetonka.
and they screamed, see, I told you he wasn't gay, talking to his friend. And
Yeah.
shit.
It was crazy. Smoking in there and shit. People would be smoking. Me and Danny got kicked out of there one time for smoking. Danny put his damn cigarette out on that size all carpeting stuff on the walls. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Danny. So I couldn't go back there for a while. Thank God that was after I had seen Prince enough times.
Yeah.
You know.
Probably had it word for word and shit. Went home and just thought about it.
Oh, I loved Prince, dude. I love that movie. But I would go over there and push carts at the shopping center. Back then, that's how I made my money, because my mom didn't have money to send me to movies or nothing. Mm-hmm. So I'd go over there and I'd push carts, and I would make some bank. I mean, you're talking like that's like 85, right around there, 84, 85, 86. I'm making $30-$40 a day for a couple hours pushing carts at the grocery store. I just go over there.
What about collecting the bottles? You remember that?
My mom used to do that. I never did that. My mom used to do it, though. I never did
It was
it.
10 cents a bottle.
Yeah, I remember that. We used to just steal the receipts out of Convenient.
Yeah, that's nice.
They had, if you dumpster dive behind Convenient, they had the receipts for that you would come in and, because remember, you'd take them in, you take the bottles in, and they'd give you the paper with the amount of money you had.
Then you go to the counter and you get your money.
Right, you go to the counter and get your money, and then they would just throw them away. No, nobody would mark them, rip them up, nothing. So me and Danny and Brian Shepard, we would dumpster dive, grab them, and go in there and get whatever we needed. Then they caught on and started ripping them up and stuff. But yeah, that's how we used to get it going. The good old days.
That was when pop was good. Tasted so much better in the bottle.
I'm not a big pop guy anyways.
Yeah.
My stepmom was a Pepsi, like she loved, like she would get those, the tall Pepsi, like where you got to peel them off. Like she'd get those, like I remember her having those, like a few stacks in the corner.
6-pack of Coca-Cola bottles.
Yeah. Now I'm not a big pop drinker too much. And when I did, I wanted Dr. Pepper because we weren't allowed to have it. Like my grandpa would have it hidden in his room.
Yeah, so it was special when you got one.
Yeah, it was like, so to us, it was like, ooh.
So now when you drink one, it's like it brings back memories.
Oh yeah, it's a treat for sure, 100%. No question, that's a treat to me. And I like cherry Pepsi too, but once you have a cherry Pepsi, it kind of tastes like Dr. Pepper, honestly.
I told you about it the other day when I went to the store and I seen a 6-pack of cherry RC. I said, I'm going to have to get that.
Was it good?
Oh, it was amazing.
Was it?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that shit's
I never
good.
liked RC.
Oh, yeah.
I never liked RC. That was Rowdy's drink, only because that was his initials. So he loved it because that was his initials. He was an RC drinker, and he won't admit that's what it was, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I'm 90% sure that's what it was.
But it's like one of that, like I said, certain things. You ever eat something you just don't eat, and then it just brings back memories?
Oh, I'll give you a perfect one. And that's a good time to bring it up because Thanksgiving's coming up. So when I met Jen, she always did Thanksgiving at her dad's house. They do a wonderful spread. It's nice. They got a nice living room, and they'd set it up, kid table, adult table, all this stuff. Always real good food. Everybody cooks good stuff, and it's a great Thanksgiving, and it's fun. And I've always enjoyed it. The whole time I was with Jen, I loved it. It was great. Then we get divorced. My mom says, oh, we should come out to her house for Thanksgiving. Me, Amanda, Mike, we all go out there. Holy shit, dude. I forgot that my mom was the freaking, she's the boss. I mean, there's nobody fucking with that food. When I bit into that, and I hadn't had it, you got to remember at that point, probably 14 years since I had my mom's Thanksgiving dinner, homemade stuffing, and that, I mean, just banging. I mean, just straight banging, deliciousness. I mean, it brought back memories like I didn't even know I had. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just lit into it. I'm like, man, why was I going over there all them years? You know what I mean? I should have rotated or something. And it probably didn't help that the year before I did Amanda's Thanksgiving with her family, and they get the Giant Eagle kit, bring it home. I'm like, this is not Thanksgiving. I was mad.
Damn, you put her out there like that?
I was like, what is this? That's how they do it, though. That's what they do. They get like the little kit, they bring it home, they eat. That's it. Amanda had never done that, like sit at a table and do the whole, like, that's how we grew up. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, yeah, that's one for sure.
People have different, I don't know, I guess you would say traditions.
Oh, yeah. That's like Joe, he's Italian. Or Dale, like my grandma, that was over on 44th Street. Their Christmas was spaghetti. You know what I mean? Which was weird to me because we had never done that. You know what I mean? Right. But that's what Italians, they do spaghetti. But it's not like our spaghetti. I mean, they're starting with tomatoes. Like they make their sauce. You know what I mean? It's Christmas. You make it right. You know what I mean? That's the way you do it. But it ain't, I never did it just always didn't sit well with me every time I've had it that way. I'm like, I want to me, Christmas is our second Thanksgiving. That's how we always ate. Maybe you throw in a ham or a roast beef or something, but usually it's your second Thanksgiving. What do Puerto Ricans? You guys have rice and beans at Thanksgiving?
Hell yeah.
Do you?
Crazy?
You guys have rice and beans for everything.
Yeah. I miss it because it ain't been like that in my life for a while.
Your sister don't do nothing like that?
Mm-mm.
Really?
I don't know. I don't go there.
Why?
I don't know. She invites me every week. I don't go. Every Sunday.
But for Thanksgiving, I mean.
Oh, yeah, she'll invite me. I probably won't go.
Why wouldn't you go? Well, then don't cry about it.
Who says I'm crying about it?
You kind of did.
No, I didn't.
It sounded like you were crying.
I don't cry about it.
You're like, I ain't had it in forever.
What? Rice?
I said, yeah, do you guys have rice and beans with everything? You said, I ain't had it in forever. I wouldn't know.
I make it myself if I want it.
You said you was making red beans yesterday. What happened?
I was going to, man. I came here and I looked and I already had it all in my head what I needed to go get, and I was like, yeah.
Why do you focus on red beans and stuff? Why don't you focus on Puerto Rican rice and stuff?
Because I like it better.
You like red beans better? Like that Louisiana style? I do too, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I do too. But I like Puerto Rican rice. Like my mom used to do when I was a kid. The woman that lived across the hall or something, or somebody she knew taught her how to make it. And it was soupy though. Like they would do it like kind of like the stew meat at Rainbows, you know, that type of stuff, and then pour it over the rice. I like that better than just like the dry rice and beans that everybody usually has. It's not my favorite, the dry. I like it when it's soaked with the beef stew and all the good shit, or the benin, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you going to your sister's for Thanksgiving?
Probably not.
Why not?
Because I don't go over there.
That's family. You got to do that. That's once a year to go to. You were just over there anyways, not too long ago. Yeah, somewhere. I was talking. You were talking to your nephew or something over there. Like a month ago, I think. Month and a half. I think you were just there. Yeah, you'll remember.
Me and Johnny went over there, looked at some stuff, but that was it.
Oh, well, you were there.
Yeah, outside. Looked at some concrete work. That was it.
Oh, you guys doing concrete over there for?
Not this year, spring.
You gotta give me a price on concrete. Tell Johnny I need a price. I'm gonna draw up a slab. I need it for like a pole barn type deal. I'll give you the measurements once I get it all drawn up.
The measurements? Okay. What else we got to talk about?
Man, I don't know. I don't remember what we went through because I was sitting there trying to write it all down and
got sidetracked.
Yeah, I mean, we did, obviously the Tyson fight we talked about. I wanted to talk about the machete guy, JD Tomlinson getting his charges dropped. Congratulations to JD. It sucks that he lost his election, but I think that that was it.
Well, at least we know a good lawyer now.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do.
He's got to. That's his...
I was thinking, you know what and I don't, nothing anybody does is any of my opinion, but I think he would love, like after the podcast I had with him, I think he'd love doing what that Justin does. Or maybe even getting on that, like maybe like in Ohio, like Innocence projects. Yeah, I think he should do something like that. I think that would be right in his alleyway.
Yeah, but he still got to make money. Do they make money?
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's unless you got a firm and then you do that on the side or something.
I mean, maybe if you get big like that, like you get a big enough, firm,
and then you
do
have people working underneath you where you're still making money and you could go travel and do that kind of shit. Yeah.
And it's almost a charity thing. And from what I know, it seems like charities make more money than anyone else.
Yeah, especially in the nonprofit ones.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, charity. Yeah, nonprofit. He'd probably make more money doing that than he would in the private sector.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how none of that works.
I think that would be a cool thing for him. He loved it. I mean, that was like when you talk to him about his highlights, it's funny.
That's what always comes up.
I never heard him when he was in here talking about how he liked getting somebody arrested. It was about his criminal defense cases and when he got innocent people out that were arrested for the wrong reason. So I don't think that in his heart of hearts, he's really a prosecutor. He's not trying to find people guilty. You know what I mean? That's not his goal in life. He likes that. He said it early on in our podcast. I like that camaraderie, us against the world type of. He goes, I like that. So I think that, I think it would be a good fit for him. But what do I know? I mean,
that'd be a good future podcast with him
to talk about something like that. He said he might come on. I said he said he might come on after it was dismissed. So I'm going to reach out to him again and see. Well, I want to try and see if he'll get that Justin to come on here, or Josh. I mean, to come on here. Josh Dubbin.
I don't know. I just it's probably too soon for him. Like he's probably ain't got a game plan yet
to find out what he's going to do. Yeah, but he might be able to talk more about the case and stuff now because it's dismissed. He doesn't have no like orders basically because they said that like he does like his restraining orders, his or whatever PTO orders, all them. So his gag orders got to be gone too, so he can talk about whatever he wants by rights, right? As long as he don't incriminate himself. I don't know that he would, but I'm just saying. Like, that's the only fear there would be, and I don't think that's a fear, honestly.
I don't know.
But
I think it's too soon.
Too soon? Too soon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it depends on this Josh Dubbin. I'd like to find out what he does with this Josh Dubbin guy. That'd be cool. That was wild that everybody was blowing up over there. That the guy we had on like a week before, I think like literally like 8 days before, Joe Rogan spending an hour on it that day.
I've told you before, Joe Rogan listens to us.
Yeah, I'm the one who put it on the thing. I said it originally. We say it at the open of every show.
Yeah, I say it.
It's on the open of every show. It's my voice.
No, it's mine.
I think you're sadly mistaken.
You gonna play it?
I think so.
He's being a cheap ass. You know, I'm like, damn.
You heard it here first. Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
To our podcast.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
That'd be me. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. We had a pretty long podcast, actually, this time. Yeah. It was almost going on hour and 45 or something like that.
What do you think the highlight of this podcast is?
The highlight has got to be JD Tomlinson getting off. What is it?
Tyson's ass, man.
Tyson's ass?
Yeah,
you think so?
Yeah.
That's the highlight?
Shit. You ain't got a video of that? That's funny.
No, I can get one though. The funny thing is that I did two pictures. Where's my phone at? Where did I put it at? Do I have it on? Oh, it's right here. I have two pictures that I screen grabbed because I was gonna do it and I never did. And I'll go ahead and send them to me right now so that I can put them on here. You'll be dying laughing.
That shit was funny as hell.
This one is because. Well, there's all the different memes that are out there because they've got people. The thing that's cool now is you can literally, right now, you can go on and with like an iPhone, and you can literally like just grab somebody out of the picture, and you don't even have to like crop it or nothing. You just basically press and hold it, and it'll like the whole background drops off. Like it's amazing what they can do now with the iPhone and as far as that kind of stuff. So they're just grabbing them and putting them all over the place, you know what I mean? I'm trying to remember what her name is now. I don't even remember what it is. Morgan something? Morgan? But I posted these two. I had these two pictures, and the reason I had them, I was going to put on here who wore it best. So I'll put it out there for you. For the who wore it best. I meant to do that, and that's one of the things I got sidetracked on, I guess, evidently. How do I get to the right? Why does it do this stupid shit? That's the wrong one, that's why. There we go. Gmail. I need to find out a way to just take it on my phone and just be able to put it up here. That would be cool. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All right, so this is... This is what it is. So the question is who wore it best? Okay. So there's this one, which is I think what is her name? Morgan something? I forget what it was. On the red carpet. Or this one. But the best is that he's going to Cane's. So that's our question. Who wore it best? We haven't done a question in a long time. That's funny shit.
So gross.
Yeah, why would I? You know, it's funny because I put Tyson's ass out to go find that picture so I could have it for it. And the first one that comes up is this Raising Cane's one where he's walking into Raising Cane. The next picture below it is that chick. And I'm like, oh, why? Well, her ass is out. I guess that's what, like, it picked that, I guess. What was the thing on his back?
Muscles.
That was in the center of his back. That was just like a muscle?
It's a fatty tissue or something. I don't know.
Fatty goo? It's not cancerous, you don't think? You don't think he should go see a doctor about that?
I'm sure he's been to a bunch of doctors lately.
Well, didn't he say like when they like in July, that's why they stopped it or something?
New Year's or blood clots.
He got real sick or something. Yeah, they said something to that effect. All right. Yeah, I think that's all we had. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to bring up, and I can't think of
Every
anything.
time we get off, you're like, oh, I meant to bring up.
Yeah, I did. The sickness. Me and Amanda were talking about that last night. Like, everybody's got, like, pneumonia. Like, her dad, who was, like, coming over, visiting, and going to work every day and all that stuff, like, a month ago was like, apparently I have pneumonia because he didn't feel good. He ran to the doctor, had pneumonia. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, I'm hearing everybody's got pneumonia. That's why everybody's sick, is they all got pneumonia. And Dylan ended up, he had to go get an x-ray looking for pneumonia. So, I don't know. So everybody be careful out there. Keep people from coughing on you.
I've been coughing all week.
Have you? You probably got pneumonia. Mike, I'll tell you what, when Mike had it, I wouldn't have known. I mean, he had a little cough, but it wasn't like, he was walking around like, I always thought pneumonia knocked you on your ass. He's just walking around, going to work every day, coming by, visiting, like eating. I mean, it's just nothing. And then it turned out he had pneumonia.
Yeah.
So you may have it. It's possible.
I don't know. I'm tired.
No, that's just being lazy.
Yeah, I'm lazy.
All right, I'm ready to get out of here. You got nothing else that you want to add to it? Nothing?
Nope.
All right. Well, we're getting out of here. What else do we have any? We should run this real quick. This little ad for. Do we have that going? Let me see. Does that work? I want to take a minute of your time and tell you about Marsh Heavy Equipment. They're opening up right down the street from us. They're right in front of the old Consumers, and he's got all new equipment, John Deere, like top of the line, like every attachment. I mean, he's got everything you need down there, and he's delivering for free right now. I don't know how long that's going to last. I think he's going to find out he can't do that. I mean, that's just outrageous. But right now, the guys that come in here that do concrete or do landscaping, they're taking advantage. They're renting it. They're getting a free delivery. You need to take advantage too before he figures it out. You want to give him a call. Call him at 1-888-636-1634. Ask for Keith and tell him that Madhouse Bar Talk sent you.